Hello everyone, Whitebox here with another game of Spirit Island. So no fancy scenarios and no real new adversary this week. I am going to be doing my first two-handed game against the Habsburg Mining Expedition this time though. So because of that, I'm going to play against difficulty 4, drop it down just a little bit, just because I'm controlling two spirits here, and it will be a little bit tricky. But I am doing something new with my aspect. I'm going to be doing Keeper of the Forbidden Wilds with Spreading Hostility. Cat. I'm very surprised that you're here. Well, after the invaders were ambushed by a giant cat, I have to make sure everything's set back correctly. Did my starting blight here, so I think I'm good. So I'm going to be playing again as Keeper of the Forbidden Wilds with Spreading Hostility. So Spreading Hostility replaces the rightmost growth option, and it lowers your energy income. But as a setup change, I do gain 1 energy. Alright, so the things that I get has recompense for losing all of those things. Lands hostile to humanity. My sacred sites may also count as bad lands. Choose for each action. And then Seeds of Teaching sprout and grow. My energy numbers on the top tracker halved, rounded up. So getting to like 5 energy, probably pretty good. I don't know, I think still probably a bottom track build is the way to go. And then I've got, I'll just right here. I've got Implacable and Spreading Enmity. So your rightmost growth option is replaced with Gain Fire, Move a Presence 2 times, and 1 damage at range 0. And there's no energy cost on this, so it's a little bit cheaper. So what this does, it gives Keeper just 1 growth option that adds Presence, so no more double Presence add on turn 2 to explode yourself into an amazing spirit. And losing energy per turn is a big deal as well. The growth option does seem cool. It's an easy way to move Dahan around and then also do that 1 damage, which can be 2 with a Badlands. And then gaining the fire helps to punish those who trespass a little bit easier, since you only have 1 fire in your starting hand. It means you don't really need to get any extra fire from that. So it's okay. It also opens up some thresholds for majors a little bit differently. And then I'm going to be joining tree with Towering Roots of the Jungle. So an angry tree and a more friendly tree here, trying to stop the invaders from doing things. I've got my Incarna set up in the corner. I've got my Vitality tokens somewhere. Got my Vitality tokens right here, so I'm all set to get started, I think. So in this matchup, I don't know that that rushing for empowering my Incarna is necessarily as good. Because going against the Habsburg Mining Expedition, and they don't really build. So they don't build, but my builds are Ravages instead. So Ravage actions instead of build actions. I can't stop that with my Incarna. So empowering the Incarna is not as useful. I'll probably be moving it around a little bit more, just to avoid damage and make sure I can get Vitality spread across the map. So Vitality is probably going to be pretty good against level 4. Alright. So, just to start out here, let's get some markers for growth options. So with Keeper, I think I want to add a presence. That's going to be really important. Now, whether I want to go down, I do need to do my initial explore. Ooh, I'm all out of sorts. So initial explore here, and also I need to. Let's see. I think I get additional, so I get additional explorers on the map, so 1 in each land without Ton. I'd forgotten about that one. Get those in here real quick. Which makes both those starting city areas pretty dangerous. Yeah, just add them. They don't explore. Okay. Alright, so that's the setup complete. Now I go ahead and explore into those sands. And none of these sands are really things that I have to worry about too much. I can kind of let most of them go. This one maybe is one that I want to stop, but we'll see. So add a presence at a range 3 to align with my presence or wilds. So at the beginning of the game, that's just going to be in your starting region. So let's go from, let's see. And I could do a Spreading Hostility this turn, but I've got such low energy at the start that maybe getting a power card and hoping for a good free one is the way to go. And yeah, I think that's probably okay. Alright, so let's go from top. I think that's fine, so that I can hopefully save up a little bit of energy for next turn. So I've got to go in here. Next turn I'll get to 2 card plays. Although it takes longer to get up to 3 card plays with this keeper, so actually I'm going to switch it up, go down bottom. Yeah, I'm not sure how to play this since I don't get double growths, but I think that's still okay. So shoot for 3 card plays. So for that I do want to get some cheap cards. So let's go... I do like the starting hand for keeper, but it's just going to be a little bit harder to make work when I have such little starting energy. And I'm going to gain a power card. If I get something with wilds, that'd be great. Gift of Nature's Connection, that's a really nice one to start with. Gift of Power, also very good. Portents of Disaster is nice, especially for the plant and air. Or no plant. Yeah, so... Gift of Power, I don't know that I need since I already have Boon of Growing Power. So it might be a little extraneous. Unquenchable Flames might be interesting this game just because I can add even more Badlands and stuff like that, but and it'll be easy for me to hit the threshold on that. Yeah, I'm gonna take Unquenchable Flames. I think I can do some cool things with that. It's 1 energy, which isn't what I wanted, but that's okay. Alright, and I don't have to worry about getting Spreading Wilds this first turn, so I might just hold off. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna stockpile energy so I can do a better turn next turn. I think getting ahead of tempo against this adversary is good, but I think I can afford to wait a turn with Keeper. So let's do that. So I've got 3 energy going with no card plays, with Towering Roots of the Jungle. None of the building lands right now are mining lands, which is great. Now I think I'll start by adding some Vitality, because I'll be able to move that around and stuff. So I'll gain a Miner at first. I've got Favor of the Sun and Starlit Dark, pretty nice. And perfect elements if I want to go down and try to hit my thresholds. So I think I do like Favor of the Sun and Starlit Dark, while other cards are good in this matchup. The Defend 4 is nice as well. Yeah, let's do that. That's an easy threshold for me to hit. Okay, cool. So going with that, I'm going to add a presence, I think, from top. Again, just to give me a little boost for energy. Yeah, I can wait on that a little bit. Okay, yeah, let's go from top. And And I'm just going to start working my way over this direction. Make a sacred site. I could even go in here. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So I'm actually gonna go here. Wow, this is probably better. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I'm all set. So let's go into card play. So I get 2 energy with tree. I've got 1 card play. Oh, and I'm going to add a Vitality at my Incarnate, so that's up here. And I'm going to just play Blooming of the Rocks and Trees. I think that's fine. Just save up energy a little bit. Okay, so that's my 1 play. Going into fast powers, I have none. I'll flip an event for timing. Nothing happens. No fear. Now we go into build. So they're going to build in all the sands. And then as the build card shifts over, they're going to have a mining boom. And they're going to replace or upgrade 1 explorer in lands with an explorer. So I think I can probably go just into here, because I'm going to defend that one, I think, hopefully. That's 1 range, so I want to place my presence, instead of making the sacred site here, I'm going to place it there, because that's going to be better. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. Okay, I think I've got some ideas here. So yeah, that's yeah. So let's go ahead and finish that up. So got my 1 replace. Second replace here is going to go into this sands, because I'm not going to worry about it. Figure out how to deal with that town later. Alright, now I've got explore in 2 jungles. And then go into slow powers. So slow powers here, I just have 2 from Towering Roots of the Jungle. I'm going to go ahead and gather 1 to Han. The only sacred site I have is here, so let's gather that guy over there. And then I've got Blooming of the Rocks and Trees, so right there I'm going to go ahead and add a Wilds into B7. And that's all I've got. So discard cards, and then go back to growth. So growth options this time, I'm still adding presence. I think I want to go with growth 3 this time for tree. So I'm going to go into this land and replace that presence. I'm going to grow from bottom, go into a 4, B4, excuse me. I gain 1 energy, and plus 2 more. And I'm going to play Favor of the Sun and Starlit Dark, as well as Entwine the Fates of All. Yeah, that's good. Then with Keeper, I'm going to go ahead and do a growth 3. I'm going to place the presence from bottom so I can still work towards that 3 card play spot. And go right here. I gain 1 energy. Then I'm going to go ahead and do growth 4. So I gain a fire. I can move a presence twice. So I'm going to move over here into a 6, SC6. And then I'm going to do 1 damage at range 0 right here to destroy that Explorer. Just so I don't have to worry about it next turn and I can do things elsewhere. Okay. So that's that turn. Alright, I get 1 energy from Presence for Keeper. And, let's see, Tyrant Wrath's not really good yet. I'm going to do Boon of Growing Power. As well as Unquenchable Flames. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Don't have Punish Those Who Trespass just yet, but that's okay. Alright, so that's that. Now I go into Fast Power, so I'm going to Entwine the Fates of All. Keeper defends 2 per presence in all of my lands. So I'll defend 2 right here. And here, technically. Alright. Then I've got Favor of the Sun and Starlit Dark, so I'm going to defend 4 into B3. Then Keeper's powers are both slow, so that's it. So let's go to an event. Search for new lands. In each land with at least 2 explorers, push 1 explorer into an adjacent land without invaders. Let's go there. I think that's the only one. Yep. Alright, on each board, push 1 beast into an adjacent land with no blight. Does 1 damage there. Alright, let's take out that new explorer. Canny Defense. During Ravage in every land, defend 1 per Dahan. Okay. That's cool. So that's all set. Now I go into the Ravage. They're going to Ravage in Sands. This one's defended 2, so I'll do 1 damage. Actually, it's defended 3, so that Han will fight back and destroy that town. This one's defended 4, so same thing. Han will fight back and destroy both those towns. They do successfully Ravage C2, as well as B5. So that's the way that goes. Then we're going to slide that over, build in jungles. So that's a little dangerous now in B4. Okay, yep. Alright, so B4. They are going to build in B8. Okay. Then I've got B or C1. That's the last one. Alright, that's going to slide across. I'm going to replace 1 explorer with 1 town on each board. Let's just go ahead and go with this town. And I think if I defend that one, both my defense cards are in hand, and I don't know that I want to reclaim again. I can probably put it in here. I think that's okay. And then explore wetlands. Okay, exploration's done. So now I'm going to go into slow powers. So with Towering Roots of the Jungle, I think I have the 2nd level of Shelter under Towering Branches. So I can gather one up to 1 explorer and 1 to Han somewhere, to a sacred site. I might go with B4. Let's see if I can do something there. And gather 1 explorer there as well, so I'll just stop that build. Okay. Then Revoke Sanctuary and Cast Out. I can't use because I don't have a Sacred Site where my tree is, so I messed up that a little bit, but that's okay. Alright, so that is that. Now I go over to Keeper. So I've got Boon of Growing Power, so I'm going to target Towering Roots to the Jungle with that. Towering Roots to the Jungle is going to gain a power card. I think still Minor is fine. I can wait on a major. Maybe even this turn. Okay, so with that, I've got Treacherous Waterways. That's pretty nice. How about Keeper? Renewing Rain. Adding Wilds. Removing Blight. I do like that. Call to Trade and Sunset's Fire. Let's go Renewing Rain, because I can stall a little bit and then hunt for a major that will end the game a little bit later on. So I get that card. Get 1 energy for Keeper. Yeah, that's fine. I've also got Unquenchable Flames. So I'm going to do 1 Fear. Somewhere I can do 1 damage to a town or city. So let's see, there's no coastal card. So let's do that here. Alright, and then I have 2 fires, so I get to add a Badlands there. I do have Spreading Wilds. So the first level, or the second level at least, so if target land has no Blight, I can add 1 Blight. Or, not Blight, Wilds. Target land has no Explorers or Blight. I can add a Wilds to adjacent land, so let's go there. Actually, let's do here. So then I can push Tunahan into that land. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I want to do. Don't have Punish Those Who Trespass. Okay, cool. So I am done. I'm going to discard cards and go back to Growth. And for my discard, I could do a Reclaim on Towering Roots of the Jungle. I don't love that idea, but it's not too bad because I do get to keep adding presence. And let's see, if I keep my Incarna there, I can do something. Well, it just won't destroy stuff. Okay. So yeah, my Incarna there doesn't actually help that much, so I don't know why I did that, but I can start putting Vitality there at least. That'll be fine. So I do have a turn to wait, so I can probably just Reclaim. I think that's fine. I'm going to add a presence, again from bottom, so I can unlock that sun and start working my way towards 3 card plays. It's at a range of 0, so let's just set up a Sacred Site where the Incarnate is. I get all my cards back, I gain 2 energy. And I'd like to defend some stuff, so I'll probably just do the same defense that I did before, or same card place. Entwine the Fates of All in favor of the Sun and Starlit Dark. A little bit stally, I don't love it, but it's gonna help me out here pretty soon, especially since I'll have 3 card plays next turn. Alright, so over with Keeper, I've got 2. So first thing that I'm going to do is add a presence from bottom again over into C3. And I've got a couple cards left, so let's go ahead and go with Growth, and that gives me an energy. I'll get 1 from presence, so I'll just take that now. Then I'm going to do Growth 4 again, so I gain Fire. I'm going to move this presence in here. Since that created a Sacred Site, I can push these to haunt out over into this land. Cool. Alright, so yeah, that's that. Then I have another move presence, so I'm going to move this presence from here. Oh, this was defended. Did I already have the Han fight back there from the Ravage last turn? I think I skipped this one, right? Or did I have 2 towns there? Oh, I just upgraded the town here from... Yeah, so that's all set. Okay. So I'm going to move this guy in here, do 1 damage, and this land, which becomes 2 thanks to this Badlands. So I will destroy that city, which only had 2 health. So that's cool. Alright, gain my energy here, so let's go into card plays with Keeper. I have 3 now. I do have 3 cards, but I don't know that I want to play all of them. And I don't have a lot of Sacred Sites, so Towering Wrath doesn't really do much right now. It's not a... Seems like it's a much worse card when you can't get 2 presents out every turn. So I'm going to do Sacrosanct Wilderness and Regrow from Roots, which I do have a target for. Okay, so those are my cards. Let's go into powers. So I'm going to do Entwine the Fates of All on Towering Roots of the Jungle. Put the 4 defense here from Favor of the Sun and Starlit Dark. I have 2 suns, so I also get a fear for that. And I'll push the Blight into this land, which has a wilds in it, so it's at least a little safe for a little while. Alright, and then I'm also using Entwine the Fates of All on myself to defend 2 per presence from all spirits in those lands, which just adds a little bit of defense. I guess I could have skipped that one. So if I get the extra defense, like, it doesn't matter. Maybe do a Boon of Resilient Power instead. Yeah. I don't really... Well, I'll save some to Han from dying if I keep doing it this way, so that's fine. Alright, so that's good. Fast powers, I've got Sacrosanct Wilderness as well, so I can push 2 to Han somewhere. I'm just going to push this guy out to save him. And then add a wilds in that land. Alright, so that's that. Now I go into the invader phase. I've got tight-knit communities for the rest of this turn. Towns and cities have +1 health. Yeah, that's okay. Prey on the Unweary. Each beast destroys 1 explorer. So that doesn't do anything. And then Coming of Age, on each board add 1 Dahan to a coastal land with Dahan. And nothing there. Okay, still no fear card. I'm 1 away, so I go into a Ravage. They are going to Ravage here. They're doing 5 damage. It's defended 4. Actually defended 8. So then Han will fight back, getting me that first fear card. This one's defended 2, so they will successfully Ravage, killing 1 Dahan and removing that Vitality token. But then the remaining Dahan will fight back and destroy those 2 towns. Didn't get any extra of Dahan defense, but that's okay. Over on this board, this one will successfully Ravage. And I think that's it. Alright, build in wetlands. And as I shift this over, I get to replace explorers with towns somewhere on the map. Let's just stack up here, I guess. Okay, and then explore into jungles with the escalation. And the escalation is going to be after advancing the invader cards on each board, explore in 2 lands where terrains don't match a Ravager build card, so they are not going to be jungles or wetlands. Okay, so that's all set. Now I'm going to go into slow powers. So I do have Shelter under Tower and Branches just at the first level, so I can again gather Han into Sacred Site. Let's see, I probably won't do that. I'll leave those guys there. I'll just gather this one in here. Alright. Then I've got Revoke Sanctuary and Cast Out at the first level, so I can do 1 Fear and remove an Explorer or Town from this land. Alright, over on Keeper, I've got Regrow from Roots, so I'll remove this Blight. Yeah, I think that one's good. Got Spreading Wilds again. Still the first level. So let's go ahead and put that in. So I can't push Explorers out. And unfortunately I'm kind of surrounded by lands with Explorers, so I can't do a good one with this. So I'll just do it over here. Oh, that's got Blight. Do I have extra range? I don't. So yeah, I can't really do anything with this. Alright, so yeah, I don't have Spreading Wilds. Punish those who trespass. Don't have that yet either. Okay, so I'm going to have to start going up top track, I think. Alright, so now I discard cards and go back to growth. Alright, so let's see. Over on Towering Roots, I think I'm going to do a growth 2, so I can add a presence, add a vitality at my Incarna, which is going to be nice. I gain a power card. I think I'm going to gain a major. Not that one. Okay, so I've got Tigers Hunting, always a fun one. Wounded Wild turns on its assailants. I'm hoping not to have that much blight out on the board, so I think that's not going to be amazing. Insatiable Hunger of the Swarm's really good. Sweeping the Sea as well. But I think we're going to go Tigers Hunting. It's early enough in the game that I can use that to really get ahead in tempo. And it's a threshold that I'm probably going to be able to get to. I just need to draft some animal cards, and then I'll be good with that. So let's just forget Favor of the Sun and Starlit Dark. I might forget Entwine the Fates of All, actually. No, I'll stick with this one. So, forgetting Favor. Picking up Tigers Hunting. Added the Vitality, so now I've got to add a Presence, and I think bottom's the way to go. Range 1, so let's go over into this land. Okay, so that's that. I get 2 energy. And I have 3 card plays. I think Tigers Hunting, getting more beasts out and getting those created, lots of fear. It's going to be pretty nice. So that's the way I'm going. With 3 energy left. Radiant and Hollow Ground kind of gets better as the game goes on. Right now, it's just okay. Until I get the Terror level up, it's just okay. So maybe just Renewing Rain, just get rid of that Blight. Yeah, I think that's okay. And I think that's it. I think I'll save these other cards because I can hit a lot of thresholds with these next turn. So, well, if I go Blooming Rocks, It's not bad for this turn. And I just have to hope that I get a plant, but I think I can do that pretty easily. So yeah, let's go with Blooming of the Rocks and Trees as well. I don't have 3 plant, though, if I do that. So I missed Threshold on both Blooming Trees and Renewing Rain, which is unfortunate. So yeah, maybe I will keep that until next turn. Could do a second major power. Be interesting. Alright, let's go for it. So I'm going to use Boon of Resilient Power on myself. I can add one of my destroyed presents back, which I have. To one of my lands, so let's just make a Sacred Site over here. And, oh, it's in the slow phase, so I'll resolve that a little bit later. Still quite good. Alright, over on Keeper, I've got 1 card left, and it's kind of expensive, so I am going to reclaim, which is nice because I do get an energy for that. And I'll get 1 for presents, so I'll just grab that now. With my second growth, I think I do want to keep adding presents. So I don't get to do my damage this turn, but that's okay. And let's see. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, and then I have 3 card plays. Let's go for Boon of Growing Power. Unquenchable Flames. And I won't Threshold that actually unless I play Towering Wrath, which I don't really want to do, even if I go top. So if I go top, I would probably put a Sacred Site over here. It doesn't really help me with Towering Wrath, so I'll save Unquenchable Flames instead, so I can keep that. I'll probably just maybe regrow from roots, get rid of some of the blight that gets added. And do I want to do Sacrosanct Wilderness as well, or just underplay and save until next turn? I think I'm going to underplay and save until next turn because I'm going to get better thresholds with this. Well, I still won't hit the second threshold on Punish Those Who Trespass. Yeah, let's stick with that. I'm gonna just stick with those 2 card plays for right now. Keeper's a lot harder with this aspect, I think. So that's good. Now I go into fast power, so I'm gonna do Tiger's Hunting. So it's 2 fear. I'm going to add 1 beast into this land, gather a beast, 1 damage per beast. And then I may push 2 beasts, which I will, into those lands. Okay. And then the rest of my powers are all slow, so let's go into an event. An Invaders Surge inland. On a coastal land on each board, move 1 town, 1 or 2 lands inland. Okay, well, that's not bad, actually. Keep stacking up there. No towns here. And Grim Toll. On each board, choose a land with disease. It's going to be 2 damage to Invaders and 2 damage to Dahan. Not bad. Then Caney Defense. During Ravage in every land, defend 1 per Dahan. Cool. 1 Fear card. Terror level 1. Unrest. Each player adds 1 Strife to a town. Yeah, actually, that's not bad. Okay. Then after that, I'm going to go into the Ravage. So they're going to Ravage in Wetlands. Then we'll remove this Vitality. Right here, they're only doing 1 damage. And then they will successfully ravage up in C8. Build in jungles. And after that build shifts over, I'm going to be replacing a bunch of explorers with towns. At least 2 of them. And now I hit salt deposits. So the explore place, this matches non-mining lands. So they're just going to explore all 9 mining lands. A little dangerous. So that did create a bunch of mining lands, which is going to be a little dangerous, but it means they're not going to do a lot of ravages this turn from the salt deposits, which is okay. Alright, so that's that. Now I go into slow powers. So I've got Renewing Rain. I'm just going to remove this blight here. I'm going to use Boon of Resilient Power over on myself, so I can add a Destroyed Presence to one of my lands. Set up a Sacred Site there, and I think I'm going to gain another major. Blazing Renewal could be quite good this game. Spill Bitterness is actually pretty good as well, since I can just eat it with a Vitality token. Damaged or destroyed, okay. Smother Infestation's going to be very easy for me to hit the threshold on, so that's going to be pretty good as well. I can't do it where my Incarnate is, but I think that's okay. So I think I actually do like Smother Infestation here. It's usually not the best major, but in this particular case, I do like it. And I'm just going to forget Entwine the Fates of All from discard, although the defense from that is quite good. So maybe I could just remove Renewing Rain instead, because there's not that much blight that I have to worry about. So I will forget Renewing Rain. I guess before I do that, I would try to revoke Sanctuary and cast out and do all my things that I had thresholds for. So let's wait on that just a hair. So I do have Shelter under Towering Branches. At the, let's see, that's not there yet. So I think I have the 2nd level for this one. Nope, yep, 2nd level. So I can gather Dahan and an Explorer. Let's gather that guy. I think I'm good with Dahan. Alright, and then I've got Revoke Sanctuary and Cast Out, this time at still the 2nd level. So I can remove 1 town from here. It's just going to get built back better. Built back, but that's okay. I got 1 fear for that. So now I can forget Renewing Rain. Gain my major into hand. Okay, doing alright. With Regrowth from Roots, I'm going to go ahead and remove this blight that just got added. And then I'm going to use Boon of Growing Power over onto Towering Roots of the Jungle to gain a minor. See if I get something with water that would help out. So Sky's Herald, the Seasons of Return is a pretty good card. Rates and Lands Rejection. I think I like Call of the Dahan Ways here, since I am using Dahan quite a bit. And that gets an animal that I've needed for Tiger's Hunting. So that is a good one. And that gives me 1 energy over onto Keeper. Alright, Keeper has some innate powers as well. I think I do have the push, finally, but there's no land with just 1 Explorer that I can go into, I think. Yeah, I can actually. I can go into that one. Let's see. I could just push that explorer out of A4. Yeah, I think that's fine. So I'm going to push one explorer out of here. So I can push that explorer into this land, making it a mining land, which I think is fine. Because mining lands are not going to do anything next turn. Okay. And then punish those who trespass I don't have. So, okay, so I'm done with slow powers. I can discard cards and go back to growth. With Towering Roots to the Jungle, I don't want to have to reclaim. I want to be going growth 3, so I can gain an energy. Add a presence. I think, depending on what I play, I might have to go bottom, but that's alright. Yeah, so I don't have to worry about that one. I could go back there, but I don't think I want to. I think I want to go up to the 4 energy. I think that's going to be better than going bottom, so I'm going to go from top track up here. Yep, that's fine. Alright, I think I'll replace the Incarnate over into that land this time. Gain 1 energy, which I did. Gain a power card. Okay, I'm going to gain a minor. I have 2 majors, which I think are decent, so I'm okay with those. So Voracious Undergrowth's not bad. Enticing Splendor. Flow Down River, Blow Down Wind, also quite a good card. But I think I'm going to go with Voracious Undergrowth. Let's go with that. Alright, I get 2 energy. I've got 3 card plays. Let's go Voracious Undergrowth and Smothering Infestation. So those are paid for. And I think Blooming of the Rocks and Trees. So I don't have to use Call of the Hanleys just yet. It will be quite good in the future, though. That's all my energy. That's fine. Because I get 4 next turn. Mining lands build. Yeah, yep, that's good. Alright, awesome. So I'm going to move on to Keeper. So Keeper's growth options here. I really don't want to reclaim. I need to keep adding presence. I'm going to go from top so I can double my energy income at least. Let's go to here. Mining lands are going to build, or non-mining lands are building this turn. Okay. So I could set up Sacred Site in one of those wetlands and just start whittling it down. It's probably the way to go. So I'm going to move both of these guys in here. And then do 1 damage at range 0, which can be 2. Because my Sacred Sites count as Badlands as I go with growth 4. I'm going to get 2 energy from my tracks. And pay for the cards that I have left. Which is just enough. Alright, and I think I'm all set. So let's go into fast powers. I don't have a lot. I do have Sacrosanct Wilderness, so I'm going to push some Dahan and add a wild somewhere. Let's go ahead and do that there, possibly. push those to Han away. Yeah, we've got lots of options here. Forgot that A4 was going to be an issue. A potential issue. Well, I could go in there instead. Do my damage in A4 instead of A8. Yeah, I think that's better. So I'm going to do the 2 damage here instead of the 2 damage here. I'm going to push those 2 to Han into C4. And those are all my fast powers. The rest are all slow. So let's go into an event. New species spread. So new plants and animals brought by the invaders damage the local ecology. I may let the invasive species bloom. So potential to add blight. And then I just return it to the top of the deck. Or I can transmute the worst, which I would love to do. I don't have a lot of energy though. I guess I could forget Boon of Growing Power and maybe just Radiant and Hollow Grove and not worry about that one. It's got great elements, but it's a little expensive, and I'm not really relying on that. So, yeah, so I might do that. Or Boon of Resilient Power. Got a couple things I can forget. Let's stick with Radiant and Hollow Grove. It is some easy fear. Yeah, it's 2 energy though. Probably not going to use it much, so I'm going to forget my unique power, Radiant and Hollow Grove. And I'll forget Boon of Growing Power. That way I can just pay for it. So, aided by Moon, but that's fine. Okay, so I get to do 1 fear per player, and then add 1 beast to a lane with towns or cities. This one's healed. Okay, cool. Alright, then I've got new diseases, and half the board's rounding up to 1, add 1 disease to a land with both Dahan and invaders, and do 2 damage to Dahan there. Okay, so that's that. Then I've got Offerings of Pattern Dance. Each spirit with at least 2 Dahan among its lands gains 1 energy. So I actually get 1 energy on both, which is cool. Okay, that's good. Then I've got a Fear card, Terror level 1. Explorers are reluctant. During the next normal Explorer, skip the lowest numbered land matching the Invader card on each board. Cool. Then we've got the Ravage. They're going to Ravage in jungles. They'll just lose this disease. That one will die. This one will go through. I'll lose that Sacred Site, unfortunately. 1 of these to Han. But the remaining one will fight back and destroy those 2 guys. This one is going through as well. So it's a mining land, so rather than cascading, it's just going to upgrade 1 of those. So I'll upgrade 1 of those explorers into a town. Alright. Then I've got salt deposits, so it's going to build in non-mining spaces. Now, there aren't a lot that are going to go through. Then after the build, I get to replace some explorers. I think that's fine. Alright, and then the explorers are reluctant, so I am going to skip some of the explorers here. So the lowest numbered land is getting skipped. And then the exploration. So they're going to explore onto either non-mining lands, non-sands. Non-mining lands, non-sands. Okay, so that's all set for them. So slow powers, I have a bunch. So let's go with Smothering Infestation first, so I can add a disease somewhere. I think I'll do it over here in land 6. Target land is jungle or wetlands. I do 2 fear and 3 damage. So I'll do 2 damage to the city, 1 damage to the town. And then I have Threshold, so I also do 1 damage to each invader, which will destroy all of them. Then I've also got Voracious Growth, so I can go ahead and remove a Blight somewhere, which might be okay. Might be better to do the damage, not sure. Ravaging Mining Spaces. I don't have a lot of range with this, so I'm just going to remove this Blight. Then Blooming of the Rocks and Trees, I have the Threshold on, so I can add a Vitality, as well as a Wilds if no invaders are present. So I'm going to try to do that. The only land I can really do that in is 6 or 4. Let's do 4. Okay. I've got Shelter Under Towering Branches and Revoke Sanctuary and Cast Out. I think Revoke Sanctuary... No, I don't have a moon, so I don't have that. But I can gather an Explorer and gather up to 1 Dahan. So let's do that. Gather this guy in here. Actually, I'll just do the Loner. And I'll be able to defend that, so that's not a problem. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. Alright, so those are my slow powers with Towering Roots. Now I go to slow powers over onto Keeper. So I get to do my Punish Those Who Trespass. I've also got Unquenchable Flames and Towering Wrath. I don't really have a great place for Towering Wrath, unfortunately, but that's alright. Yeah, because I lost a presence. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so what order do I want to do this? So I don't have the 3rd level on Punish Those Who Trespass. I've only got the 2nd, so I can do 2 damage somewhere. So I can actually clear out C8, so that might be the way to go. I could also do C2, and that's going to be a little bit hard for me to get to, and get some damage done in there. So yeah, let's do Unquenchable Flames into C2. So 1 damage to towns and cities. I'm gonna be able to kill the city, so that's good. Alright, so 1 damage to towns and cities, that's 1 fear, and adds the Badlands because I have 2 fire. Then I'm going to do Towering Wrath here, so 2 fear, and 2 damage, plus an additional 1 because of the Badlands, so I can destroy both of those. That's 2 more fear for killing the city. Then I've got Punish Those Who Trespass. I'm going to use over in C8 just to do 2 damage and destroy one of those towns. And I have Spreading Wilds, I think, at the, just the 1st and 2nd levels. So I can push an Explorer from somewhere and add a Wilds, which I will do. See, if I do it here, it'll make that a nice target for Sacrosanct Wilderness, so let's do that. Push that guy up here. Alright, cool. So that's that. Can discard cards and go back to growth. I need to reclaim on Keeper, which is fine. So gain an energy. And I'd like to add a presence, although Spreading Hostility is not too bad. But I made this not a mining lands, this one either, so I don't have to worry about either of those lands. The only land I'm really worried about is C1, actually, which is a problem. It's going to be difficult for me to remove that blight once they get more than 2 in there. So if I can make that not a mining land, that would be fantastic. Unfortunately, I can only do I can do 1 damage there, which would be enough. So yeah, let's go. But if I do that, it is slowing my growth quite a bit. I think that's fine. So let's go with growth 4. I'm going to move this presence 2, do 1 damage there, destroy that explorer so that C1 is no longer a mining land. I get 2 energy. And unfortunately all my stuff is pretty expensive right now. Regrow from roots isn't too good. I'm gonna need to start getting more cards. I can regrow from roots. I can take one of the blight out of there. But I think that's all that I want to play right now. I'm going to save my cards up so I can have a better turn next turn. So let's do that. Over with Towering Roots of the Jungle. Discard those cards. Towering Roots is also going to reclaim. I'm going to unlock the 4 energy per turn. It's just going to Sacred Sites here. Alright, that's fine. So 4 energy. I can't threshold Tiger's Hunting just yet, unfortunately. But I think that's what I want to play. So let's go with Tiger's Hunting. I'll go to all of the Hanways. It's possible. No, it's not possible that I threshold that right now. What am I talking about? But I can threshold Call of the Hanways, which would be nice, I think. And I think Entwine the Fates of All, so I can defend 2 per this guy's presence. Also gets me the earth that I need, so yeah, that's okay. Tucson Moon. Yeah, not gonna have a lot here, but that's okay, I think. Okay, so that's that. Let's go into fast powers. I've got Entwine the Fates of All, so I'm going to defend 2 per presence on Towering Roots of the Jungle, which will defend 4 here, 4 here, and that's going to be pretty good. So, alright. Then I'm going to use Tiger's Hunting. So I'm going to add a beast into B5. Can't gather a beast, but I'm going to do 2 damage per beast. So this becomes a non-mining land. And I kind of want to leave the beast there. I think that's the best place for them. That also gets me 2 fear. Which pushes me into Terror level 3. Or Terror level 2, finally. That's not bad. Alright, and then no other fast powers. So I'm going to go to an event. I've got Seeking the Interior. So let's see. Our local diaspora, because I'm into stage 2. And in the single land with the most invaders, push 1 explorer or town to an adjacent land. Or to each adjacent land. I don't love that. I wanted to be taking stuff down, but I guess I'll push from here. Here. Alright, and on this board it'll be here, which is actually helpful. No, it's not, because I'm going to create a bunch of mining lands doing that. Oh, that's not good. Alright, well, let's go. Either way, I'm kind of screwed by this. Okay, well, that's a problem. Oh, they all go out. Okay. Or could I do this one instead? They're the same, they are the same. So I can push from here instead, which I think is better. Let's go town. Explorer. Explorer. Town. Still very bad, but a little bit less bad. Yeah, that's rough. Okay, so that's that. So now I go with Beast Prowl. Each beast generates 1 fear if invaders are present, and moves to an adjacent land if not. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go 6. Alright, forsake the barren land. On each board, push 2 Dahan from a lane with badlands to a land without badlands. And by badlands, I mean Blight. But I don't think I have any Dahan inlands with Blight, so that doesn't happen. 2 fear cards, Terror level 2. Immigration slows, skip the next normal build. That's cool. It remains in place instead of shifting left. And then Quarantine, explore does not affect coastal lands, and lands with disease are not a source of invaders when exploring. Okay. Not bad. So now we go ahead and ravage in mining lands. So there are no mining lands on this board anymore, but this one will count. It's defended 4, so that Han will fight back and destroy that. No mining lands here. That one is a mining land. This one just loses that. And this one became a mining land, destroys that presence. I'll be able to get them back, so that's not the end of the world. Tricky. Alright, so those were mining lands. Now we go to sands, but they are going to skip that build, skip the next normal build. So I guess that's the whole build card, so they don't even do their mining lands thing, so that's good. So that's going to remain in place. And then they're exploring, and explore does not affect coastal lands. Which means I can kind of use that to my advantage with the Habsburg rule. So they're going to explore wetlands. Just there. And then Habsburg special thing is they're going to explore into 2 non-shown lands, so it's non-mining lands, so non-mining jungles or mountains. So it's, I can do it here and here. Here and here. Okay, so that's all set. This one would actually be skipped, so I could have them force them to explore in here, and then skip it because they're not exploring coastal lands with quarantine. So, and I could actually have that do it here. So they're exploring into C1 and C3 with the Habsburg escalation, but then they don't explore coastal lands, so that's going to not explore at all. That worked out okay. I can put these back. And now I go to slow parts. So I've got Call of the Dahan Ways with the threshold, so I can replace a town if I want to, although I don't really have a good place for it. I guess I could make one. So I can shelter under towering branches. Let's gather a Dahan in here and replace that town with a Dahan with Call of the Dahan Ways. Then I don't have Revoke Sanctuary and Catched Out, so that's my only slow power and towering roots. Slow powers. Then with Keeper, I can regrow from roots. I'm going to do this one instead. It's a little more dangerous, although these are both problematic at this point. Let's do this one. No, I'll do this one. So I'll remove that blight. Yeah, then I've got Spreading Wilds, so let's spread a wild somewhere. I can't push out explorers, so I just gotta do it somewhere where there's no explorer, which will be right there. Okay, so that's it. So let's discard cards, go back to growth. With Keeper, I do want to add Presence. I think I want to gain a power card as well, because I'm just a little low. Let's gain a power card. I'm going to gain a Miner with Keeper. I don't have a lot of energy still. Veil the Night Hunt is pretty good. Cast Down into Slumber can be quite strong. The Defend 4 is good here too on jungle. Thriving Choke Fungus is pretty nice. And Absorb Corruption, usually a little too expensive. So I like either Thriving Choke Fungus or Drift Down into Slumber. I think I'm going to do Drift Down into Slumber. Yeah, tough situation. Okay. Then I'll add a Presence. From top. Go there. I get 3 energy. I still have 3 card plays. But not really good situations here. So let's do Drift Down to Slumber though. It's free. Defend, very nice when they're going to be ravaging twice somewhere. So we go with Unquenchable Flames and Towering Wrath. I don't have an extra plant. Yeah, let's do it. Unquenchable Flames and Towering Wrath. Alright, and then with Tree, Towering Roots to the Jungle. I guess there are 2 trees. So, Towering Roots to the Jungle. I don't want to reclaim. I'm going to unlock a plant this turn, which is really good. I think I want to go for the 6 energy. So let's go from top. So I'm going to gain a power card. Add a Presence and add a Vitality at my Presence. Now, this board is pretty well under control, so I don't have to worry about it too much. Keepers is a little more dangerous. So let's see if I can find a Miner with Animal. Gold's Allure is very good. Purifying Flame and Gift of Living Energy are nice, even though they don't have Animal. Territorial Strife is not bad. So I think we'll go with that, because I'm going to be able to threshold Tiger's Hunting now with that card. And that's going to do quite a lot of work on that board now that there are so many beasts. So Territorial Strife is going to be my play. I'm going to add from... Maybe I can get away with going bottom just because I don't have a lot of energy needs. And getting to 4 card plays will give me a little bit more flexibility. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to add from bottom. The extra plant's going to be helpful here. 1 presence, or 1 range. So I'm going to definitely start moving over to this board. Get to add a Vitality at my Incarna, so I don't have to worry about that land for a while. And yeah, a couple card plays. So let's go with Territorial Strife. Now I get my 4 energy as well. Smothering infestations. Not gonna do a lot this turn, but I think it's still okay to play. Maybe I save it. It's a decent chunk of energy, considering I'm not gonna get a lot done with it. So yeah, Voracious Growth instead. Boon of Resilient Power is going to be nice for Keeper. And I think those are my plays. Okay, cool. So that's that. Now I can go ahead and go into the fast phase. So with fast powers, I've got Keeper. I'm going to defend 4 into C6. And that's it. So we'll see what happens here. So I've got an event. Got urbanization in each land with at least 2 towns. Replace half the towns with cities. Rounding up. That's quite a lot of cities. I guess 3 is not too bad. Invaders do not ravage in lands with strife or disease. That's pretty good. And then retreat. On each board, push 2 Dahan from a land with cities to a land without cities. Don't have any Dahan in lands with cities. Alright, no fear cards. Salt deposits are going to be ravaging. So I've got Ravage here. Ravage here. We'll upgrade that last town to a city. Definitely need to get in there somehow. That pushes me to a Blighted Island. I've got Aid from Lesser Spirits. Immediately draw 1 minor power per player, plus 1 more. Give 1 to each spirit. And they can be used every turn as if played, but they don't cost card plays or energy. Alright, so I draw 3. Gnawing Root Biters, Here There Be Monsters is going to just make it super easy to threshold things with Towering Roots to the Jungle if I have it. It's a good amount of fear every turn, so I think that's probably the play. So let's get a permanent Here There Be Monsters. And then with Keeper, probably Scream Disease into the Wind. That's the way to go. Got that permanently out there. Alright, that's that. I'm gonna lose a couple more though, so that's a little risky. So that was the mining. Now they're going to build in wetlands, so that's going to be another ravage there, as well as here. I'm pretty close to blighting out. And sands. And they're skipping actions in, they're skipping those ravages in lands with disease or strife, so there's no ravage there. As I shift over as well, I get the mining boom, so let me replace some stuff. Okay. And then explore sands and mountains. Okay, so done with my invader phase, so now I go into slow powers. Let's use Here There Be Monsters somewhere, so that's going to be inland, so I'll use that here. I can do 3 fear from that and push one of those guys. Let's push the town into the interior, that's fine. Territorial Strife is going here, so it's going to do 3 damage to explorers and towns. I've got Revoke Sanctuary and Cast Out at the 2nd level, so I can remove both these guys, which gets me 2 fear. And then shelter under towering branches. Can gather some stuff. I do have the third level, so I can gather towns with this. So let's just gather those guys in there. Then Voracious Growth, I'm going to do 2 damage to a town. Which pushes me into Terra level, or gets me another fear card at least. Alright, and then Boon of Resilient Power, so target spirit may add 1 destroyed presence to one of their lands, which is going to be here. And I can gain a power card on Keeper, which is going to be a minor. I've got Gift Twin Days, Pact of the Joined Hunt, Gift of Constancy, and Swarming Wasps. Gift of Constancy is probably the play, just because it's going to keep stuff going over on Towering Roots of the Jungle, so let's go with that. Then I've got Unquenchable Flames. Well, let's use Towering Wrath first. I've got 3 Sacred Sites around here, so I can do 7 damage to this land. So I'm going to nuke that. That one's easier to defend. So I could also nuke this one instead. It's only 4 damage. Killing 3 cities will be good. So let's do Unquenchable Flames here. It's 1 fear. Add Badlands. And do 1 damage. And then I'll do Towering Wrath here. It's 5 damage. So I can kill a city and a second city. Alright, somebody wants to get in. So that's that. And I'll figure out something to do with C2, but I think letting them get any more blight over into that land is a problem. And now I can destroy that last city with Spreading Hostility if I need to, so that's okay. So that was Towering Wrath. I get 2 fear just from the card itself as well, so that gets me close to another fear card. And then I've got Punish Those Who Trespass. So I've got the first level still, so it's just 2 damage, but 3 because of Spreading Hostility if I use in a land with a Sacred Site. So I'll do 3 damage here to this city. And that gets me that other fear card. So slowly whittling stuff away. Still not in great shape, but it is what it is. Maybe it would be better to clear out C3 instead. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So Punish Those Who Trespass here instead. So 1 less fear. But I get to wipe that land out, which will stop the build. And Spreading Wilds, I do have the 1st and 2nd levels. So let's just add a Wilds back into that same land, I think. Definitely got to do something about that. But I'm getting closer and closer with Roots, so that's hopefully my goal there. Alright, so discard cards and then go back to Growth. That. The extra range is going to be very helpful with Screen Disease into the Wind now that I've got that, especially adding the extra disease is going to be nice. Discard these cards too. Alright, so Keeper, I do want to reclaim, gain an energy for that. And I've got enough cards now, I want to go Growth 4. So I can go 2 presence in here, do 1 damage, which will be 3 thanks to my Sacred Site and the Wilds, around the Badlands. So, killing that city. Just because they're ravaging, 2 Ravages here are going to be an issue, so I need to do something about that. And I'll see what I can do. Probably going to involve something from Towering Roots in the Jungle. Yeah. So if I want to stop stuff from happening in the fast phase, let's see. Ravage in wetlands, Ravage in sands, Ravage in mining lands. It's a lot of Ravages that are happening. Sands, wetlands. So it's really just Keeper's board that's an issue with those 2 sands. Let's figure out what I'm doing with Keeper first. I'm definitely doing Drift Down into Slumber. Gift of Constancy. Probably Unquenchable Flames, just in case. I think that's all I can get. So I do get 3 energy. Alright, and let's see what I can do with Towering Roots of the Jungle. I don't want to have to reclaim, but I think I might, and I think that's probably okay, really. So let's reclaim, add a presence, range 0. Let's do it here. And I can get +1 range with all my powers, which is pretty cool. Don't think I'll be able to. Okay. Yeah, I might be in trouble with this C8 land. I'm gonna see what I can do, but there's not a lot since Tiger's Hunting can't target bladed lands. And that's my big thing. So I might push for some extra fear and see what I can do with that. So I'm getting 4 energy. Let's get this. Go for some big plays here. Try to do something. Smothering Infestation's okay since I do have extra range. Yeah, I can't do a lot with it actually. I like Territorial Strife. Now I have Tiger's Hunting thresholded. 2 more card plays. Let's go for Entwine the Fates of All. And Voracious Growth. I'll see what happens with this. Okay, cool. So Entwine the Fates of All, let's use that on Keepers. So Keepers are, so in all target spirits lands defend 2 for presence from all spirits. Hopefully that will be useful. And then we've got Drift Down into Slumber, which I'm going to target C6 with, so that's defended 4. Yep, that's okay. Gift of Constancy is going to go over onto Towering Roots of the Jungle. So it can reclaim and gain 2 energy at the end of its turn, and I can reclaim as well. Then I've got Tiger's Hunting, so I'm going to do 2 fear somewhere. I'm going to add a beast. Gather up to 1 beast. Let's do that. Let's see, I'm using Scream Disease into the Wind as well, so I get an extra range over with Towering Roots of the Jungle. So I think actually I'm going to defend this one 4 and hope I can get something that removes one of those guys. Because with the extra range, I can target C6. Well, that doesn't really do much for me, though. That's the tricky thing. So maybe it is still best just to go B5. Yeah. Okay, so let's go with adding a tiger there. 2 fear I already did. 1 damage per beast, so I can destroy that city. Then I can push up to 2 tigers. Actually, I might not need to worry about that one. No, that's okay. I'll do that. So push those 2 tigers there. And then 1 damage. Oh, without Blade, I can't push them into Blighted Lands. That's right. So yeah, I will just go into here. And then do 2 damage at that town to destroy it. Okay, that's that. So, defending this one 4. So this might be a loss. I think it probably is going to be, but I'll play it out and see what happens. I did also have Scream Disease into the wind, so I can add a disease into one of those lands that I targeted, which will be that one. Alright, so I've got Wavering Resolve. Remove 1 health worth of invaders per power card in play that generates fear. I've got 1, 2, 3. So I'll remove that city. And see if that does anything. Then Dangerous Lands. On each board, 1 damage in a land with Badlands or Beasts, and 1 damage to Dahan in a land with Badlands and Beasts and Dahan. So 1 damage there. I guess 1 damage here. Okay, landing support on each board with towns and cities, and 5 or fewer Dahan. Destroy 1 presence. That'll be here. Okay, and 3 or fewer Dahan, which is this one. Also add 1 blight to the land with towns and cities. Alright. Well, that's going to cascade probably, right? No. Let's do it there. Because it's only by Ravage actions. Okay. So that's problematic. We'll see what happens. It's looking like a loss. Fear cards, I have 2. So struggles over farmland. Each player adds 1 strife to a town or 1 strife in a land with blight. So I'll add those 2 strife in here so that that one at least does not ravage or does not blight. First time anyway. And depart the dangerous land. Each player removes 1 explorer or town from a land with beasts, disease, or at least 2 Dahan. Let's get that one out of there. Did I have any way to get rid of that one? I did. I could have put a strife under that, because I could have added strife just to a town with struggles over farmland. So I'm going to add that strife into this land instead, and then I can remove this town. think that's okay. So let's see. That might just save me. Alright, so let's go into the Ravage. So Ravage salt deposits first. The only salt deposit that's on the board is C6, which is defended 4. So the Dahan will take 1 damage. And then it gets to fight back. I'll destroy the town. Might be the end anyway. Okay. No, it's defended 4, so yeah, I'm still okay. The Han will die, but that's fine. Okay, so that gets me a fear card. Gets me very close to Terror level 2, or Terror level 3, which is going to be my win condition. There are not many cities left on the board. Alright, so that was the Salt Deposits Ravage. Now we Ravage in Wetlands. So they're going to do 0 damage here. Empty here, 1 damage there, nothing there. Then they'll Ravage in Sands. So this one's defended 4. They do 1 damage to the Han, but they cannot damage the land. Right here, I'll just lose that Strife. Here, this Dahan will die, or that Explorer. Alright, build in Sands and Mountains. Got a couple builds. Alright, and this one's still a mining land, so instead this one is going to Ravage. Still defended 4 though, so they don't damage the land. And then this mountain. So that's all of that. As I slide over, I have my mining boom, so I get to replace some towns with some, or replace some explorers with towns. And let's do here. And there. Alright, still some places I'm worried about, but it's looking a little bit better. And then we explore into jungles and wetlands. Okay, exploration done. So now we go into the fast power, or the slow powers rather. So I've got Territorial Strife. I'm going to target one of those lands, so either C2 or B2. It's going to be easier to deal with C2 from Keeper, so let's go with B2, and I'll just destroy an Explorer and Town for 1 fear. I've got Here There Be Monsters, so I can push out some stuff and get some fear. And let's push out from here. I'll stack up in that land. Should be fine. I got 3 fear for that. I've got Voracious Growth. And let's see, I do have an extra range, so with Scream Disease into the Wind, I have an extra range. So I'm going to target C1, and my presence there may count as Badlands. So I've got this Badlands from my Keeper Sacred Site. So with Voracious Growth, I'm going to do 2 damage and destroy this city with the extra Badlands damage. So I've got the extra range from Scream Disease into the Wind, and then the extra damage from that. So 2 cities left. 1 will be easy to kill with Tiger's Hunting, and then I just have to worry about C2, so that's okay. So I've got Territorial Strife. Let's go ahead and Shelter under Towering Branches and Revoke Sanctuary and Cast Out. I think I just have, or I do have the 2nd level of this one, so I can do 2 Fear. Gets me to Terror level 3. And I can remove 2 invaders from here, so let's remove those 2 towns. I've also got Shelter under Towering Branches, so I don't know if there's anywhere that I really need to, like, care. I guess C6 is kind of an issue, so if I can stop that from doing bad things. So let's see, I have an extra range, so I'm going to target this land and gather that guy, and I think that's it. Just hopefully maybe like a little bit easier for me to get the guy out of, or to stop them from ravaging twice in C6. Let's see if that happens. Alright, and then Unquenchable Flames from Keeper, as well as Punish Those Who Trespass. Let's see, I think I have the first level of that. No, I don't. I only have one plant. So I've just got Unquenchable Flames. Let's do 1 Fear, 1 damage to explore to towns and cities. Invaders don't heal at the end of the turn, so yeah, let's just do the 1 damage to the city, so that's down to 1 health because of the Badlands. Add an additional Badlands in there, and I should win in the fast phase next turn now. So I'm going to discard cards and go back to growth. So with Towering Roots, I get 2 energy from Gift of Constancy. I guess that would have happened right away, but that's fine. And get to reclaim a card, so I'm going to reclaim Tiger's Hunting. I also get to reclaim a card with Keeper, so let's reclaim Drift down into Slumber. Alright, with Towering Roots to the Jungle, I think I'm going to do a Growth 3, so gain a power card, just gain a minor. So Call the Bloodshed's nice, but all of these are slow, so I'm not really worried because they're not actually going to get played. So I'll just take Call the Bloodshed. Can add a presence. Let's go. Let's see, range 3. I'll go over here. And I can replace my Incarna with a presence somewhere, but I don't think I want to. Gain 1 energy, and then 4. Alright, and let's clean it up. So we got 2 cities left to get through. Can do Tiger's Hunting. Call of the Dahan Ways. Smothering Infestation. Blooming of the Rocks and Trees. Doesn't really matter what I play at this point. Because with Keeper, I'm going to go ahead and do a Growth 4. Move 2 presents over here and do 1 damage there, which becomes 4 damage because of the 3 Badlands. So that's enough to wipe that land out. Hit through Fear. Do Growth 3. Yeah, 3 energy. Plus 1 from that growth option. I'll do Drift Down into Slumber, Towering Wrath, Sacrosanct Wilderness, and that. So all my cards. And I'm good to go. But this should clean it up. I only have 1 city to get through. I was just playing all the cards just to kind of make sure that it happens. So let's go with Tiger's Hunting over in this land. It's going to gather a beast, add a beast, 1 damage per beast. Kills that last city, plus 2 more fear. And I can push those beasts over here and do 2 damage there as well. Because I had Tiger's Hunting thresholded. So that is going to be the game. It's tier level 3 and there are no cities left on the board, which means that I win. So a bit of an ugly board. I definitely let a lot more blight get added onto Keeper's side than I wanted. That local Diaspora hurt quite a bit. But still, I did manage to clean it up, I think. So hopefully I played all the rules here correctly. First 2-handed game with this new adversary, so I think I'm all set. I actually do like Spreading Hostility. It's a very different way of playing Keeper. Normally at this point I would have my board fully unlocked, but yeah, it kind of forces you into a different growth pattern because of that, which is interesting. I like the Incarnas that change how you play the Spirit. So yeah, it's a cool one. I do like Spreading Hostility, so even though Basekeeper, one of my favorite spirits, I'm gonna keep playing with Spreading Hostility every once in a while, just to throw that in. So yeah, still like Towering Roots of the Jungle. It was one of the ones that I was least excited about, kind of like Breath, and they both ended up being two of my favorites. So this is a very cool spirit. Definitely needs to get some majors in order to hunt for a win condition. Tiger's Hunting is a great one to get as your first major because it just gets better and better as the game goes on, as long as you can keep it blight free. And I did keep Towering Roots board pretty blight free. So that's that. So let me know what you think about Spreading Hostility in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see everybody next time.